Taylor Swift's Eras Tour recently just concluded, and it's officially the highest-grossing tour of all time, earning over $2 billion. Do you know how insane that is? For a woman to achieve this level of success, despite society being more biased to support mediocre men, is something we really need to stop and appreciate. So let's just look at the impacts this tour has made.
Nothing that they can't accomplish.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah, they'll get on it.
Taylor Swift cancels a show, it would literally damage the economy of a city. She's on track to being the highest paid entertainer after a wildly successful Eras tour, and it has yet to even go international. We all know that this tour is successful, but I didn't realize to what scale. The Federal Reserve said that Taylor Swift brought in so much tourism to Philadelphia, the impact was staggering. She set the record in Chicago for the most occupied hotel rooms on her 3 days performing at Soldier Field. And the CEO of Visit Tampa Bay said that she has the same impact as the Super Bowl to their city. It is estimated that Taylor Swift will make $332 million on tour this year. But the story doesn't just end there, because Taylor Swift is doing something unprecedented. She's giving sums of money that is life-changing to workers on this tour. This includes truck drivers, caterers, dancers with bonuses as high as $100,000. She reportedly is giving a total of $55 million in bonuses.
It was first reported that Taylor Swift had given an extra $100,000 to all 50 of her truck drivers, but the number was wrong. It turns out that some truck drivers in Taylor Swift's tour got a handwritten letter from Taylor which explained that they would be receiving $200,000 from her as a bonus on their tour. But the story gets better. Truck drivers usually receive a few $1,000s as a bonus from artists, so when they received $200,000, they created a plan to thank her. Every truck driver got into their vehicles and waited for Taylor's limo to drive past them, and when she did, they all honked at the same time to thank her for her kindness. The best part is that when the truck drivers did this, the lead truck driver immediately got a phone call from Taylor Swift's father. Taylor's father told the truck driver that Taylor was currently crying in her limo because she was so thankful about the support she was receiving from the truck drivers, and she even said that her tour wouldn't be possible without them.
And people say there are quote-unquote no ethical billionaires. I rarely see anyone with this level of generosity. She didn't have to give bonuses to her crew, but she still did it anyways.
The first US leg of the Eras Tour has just wrapped, so here are some of the biggest moments from the record-breaking tour. Before the Eras Tour even began, Ticketmaster crashed due to the unprecedented demand for tickets, leaving fans in hours-long waits and many without tickets. Resale tickets soared for over $1,000, and the debacle even resulted in a class action lawsuit. Swift announced 2 albums during the Eras Tour, Speak Now Taylor's version in Nashville and 1989 Taylor's version in Los Angeles. During the tour's stop in Seattle, fans danced so hard that they caused seismic activity equivalent to a 2.3 magnitude earthquake. Throughout the tour, Swift has been joined on stage by various celebrity friends, including Ice Spice, Haim, Phoebe Bridgers, Joey King, Taylor Lautner, and more. The Eras Tour is projected to become the highest grossing tour of all time, and the first to gross over $1 billion. With its international dates and a second US leg, the tour is projected to earn $1.5 billion. The Eras Tour has proved so popular that the Federal Reserve has credited Swift with boosting the country's economy. The tour is expected to generate around $5 billion for local economies, which is the same number as the combined GDP of 50 countries.
You've probably heard that Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is coming to the big screen, but with most of Hollywood on strike, how is Swift able to pull this off? Long story short, she met the union's demands. Swift is a member of SAG-AFTRA and went to union leaders directly to make sure she could make the Eras Tour movie without breaking any strike rules. That meant getting an interim agreement with SAG-AFTRA. To do that, Swift agreed to everything the union is currently demanding from the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, including things like higher pay and better residuals. The Eras Tour movie is being produced by Swift's own company, Taylor Swift Productions, which isn't part of the AMPTP. It's also going straight to AMC theaters for distribution rather than to a struck studio. So basically, there's no association with the AMPTP at all, and therefore no bad blood with the unions. Swift isn't the first or only one to meet the union's demands, though. Multiple independent production houses, including A24 and Neon, have also agreed to union demands. In fact, SAG-AFTRA has approved dozens of interim agreements since the strike started. As for the endgame, well, negotiations, at least with the WGA, could reportedly begin again as early as next week, but only time will tell whether the AMPTP and the unions will reach a deal anytime soon.
One of the things I admire most about Taylor is the fact that she didn't need to sexualize herself to be where she is today. She didn't need to make her music too vulgar or too explicit. It was all just from her phenomenal songwriting skills and
$12 million a year playing football. How does that compare to Taylor Swift's earnings?
I think $12 million is what she wipes her butt with.
You're correct for the points.
In this heteronormative society, it's always expected that the man in a hetero relationship is the one who earns the most and is more successful. Taylor is one of many women who are starting to change this sexist idea.
No, when I was like 23 and people were just like kind of reducing me to like kind of making slideshows of like my dating life and putting people in there that I'd sat next to at a party once and deciding that my songwriting was like a trick rather than a skill and a craft. Kind of it's a way to take a woman who's doing her job and succeeding at doing her job and making things, and it's in a way it's figuring out how to completely minimize that skill by taking something that everyone, you know, in their darkest moments loves to do, which is to slut shame. And so now when I see this happening, I can see a headline about a young artist, about a young female artist, about like another breakup, and it sends me into
It takes you back there to a degree?
It sends me into a real sad place because I don't want that to keep happening. And I don't think people understand how easy it is to infer that someone who's a female artist or a female in our industry is somehow doing something wrong by wanting love, wanting money, wanting success. Women are not allowed to want those things the way that men are allowed to want them.
With all the challenges she's faced, from having orchestrated hate campaigns against her to being the target for the internet's misogyny, men making AI graphic images of her, being accused of only wanting power and wanting to overshadow other artists, as if she isn't the reason smaller artists are now being paid way better on Spotify. She's stayed the same down-to-earth person since the beginning of her career. She's the most consistent and hardworking artist I've ever seen.
Taylor Swift. You know her, the blonde with the red lips. But all you want to know is how many guys she's kissed. You say Taylor's version is a scam and you are sick of her fans, but you will never understand. She's fearless. She's not afraid to speak now and stand up amongst a crowd. She's taught us love can be burning red, but eventually golden. She takes pride in herself and the year she was born, 1989. She told us your reputation is valuable, but it has to be broken for your life to be unfolded, and that love isn't always about having a lover. She's took us through a folklore, even though it won't be forever and always like evermore. She shared her midnights through a lifetime. She gave us the key to stay beautiful, be gorgeous, be the man, feel more than just a cardigan, to get through champagne problems, to learn karma's real and that you can't spell cats without TS. So Taylor is more than the guys she's kissed. She is a gift us Swifties will never, ever, ever forget.